Good evening. How are we doing? Hope that we're all doing well. Happy Sunday evening. I'm just going to send a few invites. Hope that we're all doing well. Bear with me while I just send some invites. So it's a little bit cooler than it was last weekend. So I'm not frying in my office tonight, which is nice. Can't complain. Just sending a couple of invites. Bear with me. If you're catching up on replay, thank you so much for joining. And feel free to skip the first 2 minutes of this while I get it all set up. There you go, a couple of invites, that'll do. There we go. What is going on? So Ben's on. Hello, mate. Hayley's on. Sarah, Rosie, John. Mum's on. Hello, Mum. Lisa's on. Amazing. Let me just see if I can get a couple more. There we go. Right, let me just set this up. There we go. Amazing. I hope we're all doing well. I hope we've had a really good weekend. Now, episode 8 of the Always Better Than Yesterday interview session. So for those of you that are joining for the first time, thank you so much. Thank you for spending your Sunday evening with me. I hope to bring you some form of value. The reason I do these is because, and if you've joined before, you'll know all this. But I'm going to say it anyway. I'm fascinated by people. I'm fascinated by inspiring and successful people. And I know enough about people that things aren't always as easy and simple as it might seem. I mean, inspiring and successful people haven't just got where they've got to without overcoming hardship and difficulties and building a good set of habits and a good strong mindset. So these interview sessions have all been about being nosy, asking people all about their experiences and how they've overcome hardships and what it is that they love to do and how they followed that. And I am super excited this evening, super excited to be speaking with Gemma Hunt. So all of those people local to Trowbridge, they will know Gemma as a local celebrity, and any of those people watching that are parents will know your kids would be obsessed with her, I'm absolutely sure, like mine are. We were watching Swashbuckle this afternoon. So yeah, super excited. Can't wait to speak with Gemma. If you've got any questions, please do drop them on. Hello everybody, there's lots of people watching tonight. I'm really pleased that I have all you guys join us so you can hear this. Neil's on. Neil from episode 2. Nice to see you, Commando Dad. Hope you're well, my friend. We must speak again soon. So, the reason I'm excited to speak to Gemma is because I think she's a great example to not just young people, but all people, because it really does come across that she absolutely loves what she does. And I think sometimes the advice of do what you love can be lost on some people because there's not a sense of practicality behind it. And I want people to listen and understand that, there's a path and a journey that's behind doing what you love. And it's not just as simple as just falling into something. And hopefully we'll hear a bit more from that with Gemma. I'm going to bring her on now. I don't want to say I want to ruin the story. Drum roll. Hey!
Hi!
How are you?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm alright, thanks. How are you?
Great, yes. Amazing. Thank you for joining me.
That's okay. Did you survive your camping weekend?
We came home a day early.
Oh, no.
It was probably better than being blown down the campsite, so.
Yeah, I've had friends that have been camping this weekend as well. They're all home and dry now, thankfully.
Yeah. Home and dry, and I can't wait for this, so thank you so much for joining me.
All right, pleasure.
Not that you need a massive introduction from our community, but would you please do me the honour of introducing yourself?
So I'm Gemma Hunt. and I'm a Trowbridge girl, born and bred. I was born in Trowbridge Hospital, and then I went to Staverton Primary School, and then I went to John of Gaunt, and I left there to go to university when I was 18. So that was really fun. But yeah, I'm best known, I suppose, for doing swashbuckle.
Ah! I think you pressed the wrong button. Come back. Let me just try to set that up again. Bear with.
Are we back again?
There we go. Don't touch any buttons.
Sorry, it was all my phone decided to do something crazy. But anyway, sorry.
Good.
Hi.
Hello
Back
again.
But yes, I was introducing myself. So yeah, I'm Gemma from Trowbridge, but now living in Southeast because now I'm married and moved away from home. Although I was back in the West Country last weekend visiting family. So yeah, it's nice to come back occasionally.
Amazing. I don't know if you caught the introduction, but the reason I'm fascinated with talking with yourself is because it really looks like you love what you do. Would that be fair to say?
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess what I want people to be able to hear and learn from you is that I guess it always been a straightforward, simple journey of, you wake up one day and all of a sudden you're a CBBC presenter and you're loving what you do. I guess there's been a journey and a process behind that. And I'd love to know a little bit about your backstory and how that opportunity has come to be, really.
Okay, well, I guess I've always been an entertainer. You've only got to ask some of my family on my mum's side, and they will tell you, oh yes, whenever we had big family get-togethers, Gemma would always be the one that was entertaining in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And whether that be just prancing around, making food of myself around the dinner table, or whether my cousins would get a video camera and start filming, and we'd make like home movies, and I
Yeah.
was always the presenter on it. So I kind of got a lot of practice from doing that kind of thing. Um, but then when I was at school, I really enjoyed drama, really enjoyed performing and that sort of thing. And then I went to a local church in Trowbridge, Bethesda Baptist Church, and we had a drama group, and we'd often do little drama sketches of things to do at youth club,
Mm.
and then we'd perform in our church or in other churches and stuff. And so that was probably when I first got involved with performing, as well as doing lots of school shows. So doing school shows is a great way to kind of experience
Mm.
working with an audience and doing something that you really, really love. So I did that. I did Me and My Girl, did Little Shop of Horrors, and then I thought, do you know what? I really like working with kids as well. My mum had my little sister when I was 9, and so I was around and really hands-on as kind of a second parent
Yeah.
as well as a big sister. And I think it was probably because of my sister that I realised that I liked entertaining kids.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh yeah, this is something that feels quite natural and quite fun. I really like this. So let's see what we can do with that. So I remember going to see the careers advisor at John of Gaunt, and I remember them saying, "So, what would you like to do when you leave school?" I thought, "Well, actually, I'd really like to work in kids' telly and maybe try and get a job on that." And they're, "Oh no, you want to find a proper job?
Yeah.
It's like, want to find something else." And I thought, "Oh, okay. Well, I still really kind of want to do that."
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm not actually going to listen to you. I'm going to follow my heart's desire and go and try and do what I can, and that's kind of how it all started.
And that's typical, isn't it? I think, and that's what I'm trying to write here, right now, is there'll be so many people that will say, do the safe thing, do the easy option, get a proper job, and if you'd followed that advice, there'd have
I'd
been a
probably
lot.
be, I'd probably be, and this isn't a bad thing because I actually have a lot of respect, but I would probably be a primary school teacher,
Yeah.
because that's probably the other thing that I felt like I would like to do.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's still entertaining children, but also educating them too.
Yes, absolutely. And I guess being a young person, then you would have had to have been quite. Would you call yourself headstrong, determined?
Yeah, absolutely. And stubborn,
Yes.
I think,
Yeah.
because I just thought, no, this is what I want to do. So, sorry, careers advisor. Um, is this what you wanted to do when you were at school? Did you say to your careers advisor, I want to be a careers advisor? Probably not.
Yes.
And maybe, perhaps they did. But I just thought, no, I do need to just go for it. So that's kind of how it
Amazing.
happened.
So you wanted to be an entertainer, and what was your next step? Where did you go from there?
So then I looked for universities because I figured that I had to do something in education. I couldn't just drop out of school at 18 with just hopes and aspirations. I needed to get something behind me to help me, to inspire me, to equip me, and also to educate me in the actual business, in the industry. So I looked on. Well, no, I was going to say I looked online. I absolutely didn't look online because you couldn't look online then. I looked through prospectuses
This is
for
it, yeah.
university. And I remember there were 2 universities that had a course for media performance that said jobs after this may include TV presenting. I'm like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I looked through, and there was one for Salford University and then also one for Luton University. So I thought, right, I'll apply for both. And I was due to get really high grades in my A levels, so I figured that I'd probably be able to get into either, and then I'd probably choose. And my preference was to go up north, to go to Manchester. And as it happened, I got my results through. I got 3 A's at A level doing English language, psychology, and performing arts. And then Manchester, so Salford, didn't want to know.
Ah.
So I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I'll go to Luton then. And so I went to Luton. Everyone's like, oh, Luton Airport. Is that where Luton Airport is? Like, oh, yes, okay, cheap flights. That's great. But I went up over to Luton and absolutely loved it. The course was phenomenal. The lecturers were inspirational. My classmates were brilliant. So many of them have also gone on to do incredible things. And so it was at university that I then felt like this is the thing for me to do. I'm definitely finding my feet here. And some friends of mine from the Christian Union were part of a music group. And they said, oh, we're putting on this big showcase evening. We need somebody to compare it. Would you be up for it? And I was like, oh, okay. Not really sure that I'm ready for that yet, but why not give it a go? So I went along to this massive church that used to be a theatre in London, in Ealing. And I hosted this event, and it was absolutely brilliant. There were all these different acts that came on, and all I had to do was get up on stage and then just introduce the different acts, and it was really good.
Amazing.
And I thought, yeah, I feel very comfortable here. So I went back to uni, and then in my third year, no, sorry, go back a bit. At the end of my first year, I then applied for a TV talent show called Is She MTV. So it's like a very early X Factor where they were looking for a new presenter to present on MTV alongside Richard Blackwood. And there was a nationwide search, and I went to the London audition, so they would have been in Bristol, Birmingham, Manchester, you know, like they normally are. And there were tens of thousands of girls that auditioned on each of the different days. I heard whispers from some of the production that I was one of the favourites for getting to get this 6-month contract. And it wasn't me. So I was like, oh my God. In a great showroom. And okay, well, actually, I'm in the first year of university, so I go back to uni, and that was the best thing for me. I'm such an academic, and I like to finish things. I'm such a perfectionist way and take real pride in what I'm doing. I want to make sure that I completed my and my third year, that lectures professionals from things was an agent who represented.
I'm not sure if I'm losing you. Can you hear me?
Still there? Oh, he's still.
There we go. There we go.
There we go. We're back now. So yeah, so she said about putting together a show reel, and that's basically like a CV, but lots of clips of you doing stuff on telly, and the sorry, I'm just making sure that I've got a connection here. So I put together lots of clips of these bits of me doing this MTV show, and I said to this agent lady, look, I've got some clips of me on VHS. I'll have you know, it's back in that long ago, and would you be interested in sending it out and trying to represent me so that I could potentially get some interest, get some work? And she said, well, I know people at CBBC, I know people at CITV. So yeah, send it over, let's see what happens. So I sent it to her. She sent it off to both those avenues, and they both came back and were like, not really sure that we're that interested. But thankfully she knew somebody that worked at CBBC, and they said, okay, well, let's get Gemma in for an interview. So I went in for a meeting. Had to take the day off uni. I think I might have just snuck out and not told anybody where I was going, because I just also I didn't want to let anybody know in case it didn't go anywhere, and then it's just like, oh, all the big hype and
Yeah.
then nothing happens. But then, so I went for this interview in London, and they said, yeah, we really like you. Excuse me. Why don't you come back for a screen test? So then I went for a screen test a couple of weeks later, which again is like an interview, an audition on camera in studio, and it went reasonably well, I should imagine. It was fine. I was very nervous because I'm going into the BBC, and I
Yeah.
was doing it actually in the CBBC studio.
Wow.
And then as I was leaving, they were like, okay, well, thanks very much. We'll see you soon. And I was like, yeah, see you soon. Whatever. That's just what they say. And then as I left and I went to visit a friend for a coffee, and I'm just walking back to the tube station, my phone rings, and it's the lady who's my agent. And she's like, are you sitting down? I said, well, I'm just gonna kind of lean against this wall in Holborn. Yeah, okay. She's like, they want to offer you a 6-month contract.
Wow.
What? I said, I haven't finished uni yet, and I actually hadn't finished my degree at this point. So they then said, okay, we'll just finish uni, take a couple of weeks holiday, and then start with us.
Amazing.
And that happened. I started working. My first day on screen was Independence Day 2003.
Wow. So when you first joined the BBC, then who were your kind of childhood heroes growing up? And were you?
Philip Schofield,
Yeah.
Sarah Green, like all the Going Live presenters.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
I think watching them, all the Blue Peter presenters as well. So Diane Louise Jordan was a real favourite, who's actually become a friend since then, which is amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, so people like that. And so then getting to go into places where they've been and do the stuff that they've done was just like, man, what an honour.
That's amazing.
To be able to do that.
That's amazing.
Really
and you and I spoke on Friday, and I shared with you the story about when I applied to be a police officer. We're talking about nearly 8 years ago now. And I was accepted, and I was due to start my career as a police officer. And because of all the government cutbacks, my intake was cancelled, and they made me wait 2 years. And because my kind of assessment centre qualificate or pass had expired after 2 years, they wanted to re-interview me. And I shared with you this story that I went into the re-interview, just to make sure I was still competent. It was just and I failed. And I felt there was no reason I should have failed that re-interview. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It didn't feel like it at the time, because that was my life's course. I was going to be a police officer, and my career was going to be 30 years, and my life was taken care of. And all of a sudden, I was at a point where that didn't happen. And I was, what do I do? Who am I? And all these sort of things. And I guess, how did you feel about the difference between, Salford and Luton, and reflecting back on that now? Like,
I'm really glad, and I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. And I can laugh about it now because, 15 years later, I'm now working in Salford filming Swashbuckle.
Wow, yeah.
So I ended up there eventually. It was just a different route. It wasn't the route that I was planning, but it was a better route.
Amazing. That is amazing. So let's talk a little bit about your kind of career as it is now then. I mean, do you still get nervous?
I do.
Yeah.
But I think it's good to get nervous because it means that you care about what you're doing.
I agree.
I think that when you just do something and it doesn't mean anything, you're kind of dead behind your eyes, and the audience can see that, and they feel that, and you're not giving your best because you probably don't want to be there, or it's not important to you. So I truly believe that having nerves is a good thing. It's just managing them.
So how do you manage them?
Take deep breaths.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian, so I will pray, and I will sort of focus myself and ground myself in my faith. I try to be as prepared as possible because I feel like when I'm most nervous is when I'm least prepared. And so it's trying to be prepared to do the stuff that is required. And it's also being confident in the people that you're working with. like knowing that you've got somebody who's on sound that's going to make you sound good, somebody on lighting is going to light you, someone on makeup is going to make you up to make you look good. So all these things, you've
Team
got to have
effort.
confidence in other people. Yeah, it is a team effort. And I used to think that when I used to do live CBBC at the weekends, and it would just be me on camera, there'd be about 15 to 20 other people behind the camera to put me on the camera.
Wow.
And so it's a massive team effort, and I couldn't do it without everybody there. And it's really important for people that want to know about the industry to realize that, because often we just think, oh, it's so glamorous, it's so amazing, and what you do is fantastic. I'm like, yeah, but I Gemma
Yeah.
cannot do all of this. If it was just me, yeah, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah. And I imagine long days on sets, and there'll be days where
Oh,
you feel low on
massively, yeah.
energy, and
Totally, really long days, unglamorous, like getting changed in the toilets, doing your makeup in a wing mirror of a parked car somewhere, like all those things I've done.
yeah,
And it really isn't glamorous. The whole place is held together with gaffer tape behind the scenes. It might look nice on camera, but everything else has got other people there holding things in
yeah,
place, and
yeah.
literally
And
that's happened.
I get the sense that you're a high energy type person. Is it always the case, or are there some times where you've really got to kick yourself and really get frame yourself to be in that state?
Yeah, well, I'm human at the end of the day,
Yeah,
so I'm going to have bad days. I'm going to have days when I'm not feeling it, or I've had a bad night's sleep, or no sleep, or tired, or hungry, and lots of different things.
yeah,
And so there are times, obviously, that you need to just focus on the task ahead and put everything aside and think, right, I've got to deal with that, park that
mm,
now, I'll deal with that later. But it's not always easy, and I think I'm the sort of person as well that wears my heart on my sleeve, and so it's very easy to tell if I'm not happy, because obviously my eyes give me away
yeah.
because I'm not happy about something, or annoyed or frustrated. And so
Our greatest
sometimes it
strength can
is,
sometimes be our greatest weakness.
yeah, yeah. And we're very good in this business at wearing a smile, I'm a naturally smiley person, so I think that sometimes when I'm not smiley, that's when you're like, are you actually
Mhm.
okay?
Yeah, amazing. So I think for those young people that might watch this, and they're sat there and they've just finished their GCSEs, what advice would you give to that person around looking towards their future and doing what they love? Because sometimes the advice people can give is do what you love, follow your passion, and I guess sometimes there's not a practical sense of, but what does that mean? What do I do? And
Mm.
where do people start with that?
I think you need to have a plan A, which is definitely whatever your heart's desire is, that thing that you've been working towards, the thing that you can see yourself doing as a career and has longevity, the thing that you've studied for that's pointing in that
Mm,
direction. Have that plan A, have that dream, have that thing you can hold on to, but have a plan B up your sleeve. Because it could be that something might happen to your health that will stop you from doing your dream job,
mm,
or something that might happen in your family that will take you away from your dream job. But you don't then want to be disappointed and not being able to do those things that you've worked really hard towards. So for me, doing all the studying and training to get into television or on stage is amazing, and I love the fact that I have all of that.
yeah.
But my plan B has always been to be a nanny, like a childminder, looking after children, and that's something that I've done alongside telly, or when I've not been working,
Mm,
that's something else I've been able to do. So I've transferred my skills of entertaining children on the masses to entertaining just a couple at once, one on one. And so that's been my plan B. And also I know that people are always going to need childcare
yeah.
of some kind,
Yeah.
and so then I'm guaranteed to work forever.
Amazing. Yeah.
So like that's my plan B.
And that's so true, isn't it? It just makes sense because if that's, I a lot of what I do with my coaching and my community is help people get this sense of their purpose and their why.
Mm.
And it's I don't know whether you've spent time thinking about your purpose, but just listening to you and this sense of what you love to do around entertaining and children, and it just makes sense because what you do doesn't define you, but
Mm.
that's why it makes sense for you to do and children's entertaining and nannying. It's you within that, but it's what you
Mm-hmm.
love.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think again, going back to like my faith, I think I have a higher purpose, a greater
Mm,
purpose, and I'm very reliant on God for that.
yeah,
And I definitely believe that He has crafted my path for me, and I'm just now trying to obediently walk along this path. And pick up the blessings on the way, and
Yeah.
pick up the fun times, and pick up the difficult times too, but
Mm.
then equally know that that's like my crutch, something to lean on. My faith is something to lean on, which not everybody has.
Yeah.
And so that has been my backbone, that has been my lifeblood, that has been the thing that has kept me going in really difficult times. And so then I don't have to worry too much about my future, because
Yeah.
I kind of know that it's all right,
Mm.
and whatever happens, it will be for my good anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm just going along and I'm enjoying the ride, and if it gets great, get better, then amazing. If it gets worse, then amazing, because you just got to make the best out of a bad situation and do the best that you can with what you've got.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's such a great perspective on life to have. So I don't want to keep you too long. I've been really, really appreciative for your time, and
That's all
I
right.
could sit and listen to you all evening. I just love the enthusiasm.
I could chat for much longer, but I think my phone battery might not last that
Yeah.
much longer.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, my phone actually almost melted. Though, so when one of these interviews, my phone told me to turn it off because it was.
Oh, I've seen that before. Yeah, this is getting too warm. Get it out in the sun or something. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, is there anything else I mean, I could ask you questions all evening, but is there anything else that you would share? What advice would you give? Or actually, let's go with what are your kind of 3 big lessons for you in your as you've pursued your career?
I think you have to focus on what your heart's desire is
Mm.
and aim for that,
Mm-hmm.
because that is the thing that will motivate you to get out of bed in the morning. And especially if you're having a bad day, or if you're having relationship issues and you've got other things that are consuming you, knowing that you are targeting the one thing that you know in your heart of heart is your purpose and your grand design for what you need to do,
Yeah.
like that's, go for it. You need to have good cheerleaders around you.
Yeah.
So whether that be parents or a partner or friends or other people in your family, people that also share your vision and that
Mm.
care about you,
Mm.
that will support you on those good times and also on those times that are tricky, whether it be due to illness or heartbreak or
Yeah.
financial problems. They can get you through that, because I've had a lot of good friends that I'm sure would testify that they've been there for me, and they've been the ones that have really supported me through those tough times to keep me going. And the other thing is just to have faith and believe in yourself,
Mm.
and because you will get rejected and you will be disappointed, but don't lose sight of who you are and in that,
Mm.
and know that you are a good person regardless of other people's
Yeah.
opinions. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not. Don't be too hard on yourself. Forgive yourself, which I'm not particularly great at. I'm still learning that one. But yeah, just have to have faith in yourself.
Amazing. I absolutely love those 3. I could just the smile on my face. Absolutely love that. Thank you so much. I think people have been dropping on with their comments and questions. If people have had questions, would you mind dropping in and engaging with people and answering their
Yeah,
questions?
totally. Yeah, I
Amazing.
can do that.
Because there's quite a few, and I wouldn't want to keep people here any much longer. So lots of Swashbuckle fans, parents of children that are
Yeah.
big Swashbuckle fans. We watched it this afternoon. It was a bit of a wet and windy day outside, so we spent the time watching Swashbuckle. It was amazing. So thank you for your entertainment, and thank you so much for joining me.
No worries, it's been a
Really,
pleasure.
really grateful for it.
Cool.
And what's next for you?
So I've got a few festivals that I'm working at over the summer. I'll put all the details on my website, which is gemmahunt.com. And then I'm doing Panto this year, this
Amazing.
Christmas in Sheffield. So it's a bit far from the West Country, but if anybody's up north and wants to come, you're most welcome. We'll be at the Lyceum Theatre. I think we opened the beginning of December.
And what panto was it?
It's Peter Pan, and I'm playing Tiger Lily.
Amazing. Amazing. That's fantastic. I wish you very well for your future, and thanks. And
Thank you.
I hope our paths cross again, because you are absolutely an inspiring lady, and I wish you all the very best.
Thanks, Ryan. Good to see you too.
Take care. Much love.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for joining.